There you go. All right, so I'm going to open the meeting of the Select Board. We're meeting by Zoom today, Friday, May 12th, 2023. The time is currently 4:06 p.m. I'm just going to acknowledge that Kirk is available by phone. He cannot be seen on the Zoom, but Heather has him on her phone. Kirk, can you speak?
I can speak. This is Kirk. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk. All right. So the first agenda item is to reopen the warrant for the annual town meeting on June 5th, 2023. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to open the warrant articles for June 5th.
Is there a second? All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. Because we're on Zoom, we do need to do roll call votes. So we have the warrant open. The next item is to discuss the warrant articles. Heather, do you want to just give us a quick recap of the changes that we were talking about at the last meeting?
Sure. So the non-monetary one would be the revolving fund bylaw. So the revolving fund bylaw, as I mentioned at the last meeting, it's just not ready to go live yet. There's still some questions, if some tweaks we can make to it to make sure it complies with what we're required to do in order to make the changes to it. So my recommendation is to remove that article from the warrant in its entirety. So that currently is slated as Article 9. And then as a result of removing Article 9, it would also modify Article 10, which is the revolving fund expenditure limit, by just removing the electrical inspector and plumbing gas inspector reference. So that's the non-monetary one. The monetary ones start with what is Article 1. Before we get into Article 1, I did send the board a note today. So Carol had mentioned that when looking at the school articles, she noticed that the assessment number seemed to be a couple dollars off. I actually ended up calling Michelle over at Wachusett Regional School District today and having a conversation because I couldn't figure out what I did wrong. Apparently, she had a couple versions of the numbers. And the version I had was $71 more than the ultimate assessment version that we were assigned at the end of the day. So I had to go back and do some small tweaks to that. But I did mention that in the note to you guys earlier so that you were aware that that was coming down the pipeline there. $71, not huge, but it does reduce our operating stabilization ask by $71. So that's always exciting. The monetary ones in question that the biggest question is what to do with Article 1, the capital replacement DPW 1989 Mack truck. If this article were to be removed, then the article that currently stands as 15 and 16 respectively for the town budget and school budget would both have to be modified. We discussed those numbers on Monday, and I can always recap if that's the direction the board wants to go. Since we met on, Tuesday, since we met on Tuesday, FinCom and and Capital both met as well. Capital met to revise their report, which everyone should have, and I did put on the website as well, the revised amended report. And FinCom met as well, and when FinCom met, the Article 1, they recommended disapproval, following in line with Capital's recommendation. And then FinCom also recommended waiting to town meeting to opine on the revolving fund bylaws, as I mentioned earlier, because they weren't sure what was going to happen on those, and the numbers would make it a little wonky to vote on it. And then the last piece was the school budget. They had made a disapproval recommendation. So I think that brings us up to speed the best I can. So tonight's actions, the first, I don't know if you want to take them in this order, but this will change which one of the 4 versions we look at. And if you need me to pull up anything, is whether or not the board is interested in removing the revolving fund bylaw and amending the subsequent article, which is the expenditure one, by removing the electrical and plumbing reference.
Okay. So I'd like to entertain any motions. Let's go in order with regard to Article 1. Are there any motions to remove Article 1 or keep Article 1 as part of the warrant based on the new information since we had last discussed it?
I make a motion to remove Article 1, the replacement of the DPW 1989 Mack truck.
Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, any discussion? Go ahead, Carol.
So I'm really against taking the article out because I really feel that we need this piece of equipment. I think Travis explained the need for it. I think we could have done it over a longer period of time in order to make it less of an impact on the taxpayer. But that being said, the capital bylaw clearly says that if an item does not appear on their report, then it cannot be considered. So the fact that we've got an amended report, which I believe we've accepted because we've received it, we cannot keep that article. So I just wanted to make that clear. I am against taking it out, but I do know that we have to take it out, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. Kirk, any discussion? Sorry, Carol, were you done?
Sorry, that's finished. That's
okay.
No, none beyond that.
Yeah, and I agree with that assessment as well. I do think, we're waiting for a dump truck to come in, and I know they have different functions, but hopefully once that dump truck's received, it will at least start to help alleviate some of the issues in the meantime, and then it can absolutely be revisited next year. But we are handcuffed because it is not on the capital final report. So it is what it is. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. How do you vote, Kirk? Did he vote?
Sorry, did you not hear me?
Nope. How do you vote?
Can't hear.
Aye.
Thank you. Carol?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. So that removes Article 1. Moving on.
So now remember the next articles are going to be a little wonkier, right? Because we just removed one. Julia, did you want me to share my screen with the revised warrant at that point?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on. This calls for what I call option 2, because we haven't got to option 2B yet. So let me just pull up option 2, which is this one right here. Okay. So option 2 up. Do I have right to share, Julia?
Oh, I can give it to you. Hang on.
Okay.
I think I can give it to you.
Share screen. It says disable participant sharing, crazy setting.
I think I have to make you the host so that you can do it. So I'm going to do that.
Co-host.
I'm still trying to get in. I don't know
Okay.
what the deal is.
Well, you can use your imagination, Kirk.
I guess.
All right. Let's see. All right. So we should have up on here. So this is my 2B version. So we just took out the Mack truck. So that moves everything down, or every article up a number. I'm just going to scroll down here. So then Julia wanted to take them in order. So the next article that changes, or potential to change, would be right here, which is Article 8. Now Article 8, formerly Article 9, Bylaw Departmental Revolving Fund Bylaw.
So Heather, we had talked about pulling this off because it needs some more work before it can really reach town meeting.
Yes.
So I will entertain a motion with regard to former Article 9, now Article 8 regarding the revolving fund bylaw.
I'll make a motion to remove Article 9, bylaw departmental revolving fund bylaw from the town warrant.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. All right, take us to the next one.
All right, so this is now Article 9, formerly Article 10, revolving fund expenditure limits. We just need to remove the electrical inspector and plumbing gas inspector references at the bottom.
Yeah. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to on Article, what was Article 10, revolving fund expenditure limits, removing the electrical inspector and gas slash plumbing inspector.
Is there a second?
Second, I thought it was Article 9 though, but never mind. Okay, second.
Okay, all in favor? Oh, any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. All right, on to the next spot.
Somebody's not happy.
I'm trying to keep him at bay, but he's on the other side of the door throwing a fit.
Oh, no.
Once you became on speaker, Kirk, that was too many voices on speaker, so I can't do your voice, his voice, and the rest of the board.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
All right, let's see. My sharing is paused, resume share. Okay, so now you should see. Let's see if all went well. That should now be gone. Look at that. This is option 2B. So here we go. All good. So revolving fund bylaw is gone. Revolving fund expenditure limit is now Article 8. We move on. Okay, everything else here is the same. The bylaws, the budget, town budget's the same. That's all good. Okay, so the next two articles that get adjusted, they don't need to be removed, they just are adjusted, is the school budget. Yeah, just this. Oh, no, I lied. I'm sorry. We do have to do the town budget. My apologies.
Yeah.
So we have the town budget. So there's two lines in the town budget that got amended as a result of, stop moving the mouse. That get adjusted as a result of removing Article 1, and that is the town clerk line gets reduced by, I believe, $5,963, or it could be $5,693, I think. And then the one of the later articles, which is the borrowing cost of $4,000, we no longer need because we're not going to be doing that borrowing. So it reduces us by 9,000. I think it's 693, but I keep inverting the 9 and the 6. So
9,963.
okay, so 963. Yes, thank you.
963.
So as a result, the budget gets reduced by that amount on this article on Article 13. So it now would read the sum appropriate of $6,675,433, same amount of free cash, same amount of EMS receipts for a total of $7,639,944 on Article 13.
Okay. Is there a motion with regard to Article 13 and accepting the new language and numbers?
Make a motion to accept the new language and numbers on Article 13 based upon Heather's previous explanation.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry. Aye.
And I will vote aye. All right. Next one.
All right, so the last one here is Article 14, the WRSD budget. So as I mentioned at the beginning, before I began, the total recommended and the total requested amount should now say $7,477,459. Previously, it said 530 as the last three digits. The only number that was modified was the discretionary number. I was off by, I had a prior number in the wrong spot by $71. So that has been amended. You will also see that the operating stabilization amount is reduced by that $9,963 and the $71 I just referenced. So it revises the article. So it's appropriating $7,391,280, $86,179 from free cash for a total of $7,477,459 in Article 14.
Okay. Is there a motion with regard to Article 14 in the adjustment of the numbers as Heather described?
Make a motion for the point of discussion.
So you have to, Kirk, make the motion one way or the other.
Make a motion to disapprove for point of discussion.
Okay.
All right. Second. For
All right. So
discussion.
go ahead, Kirk, discuss.
This just seems to be a lot different than what we were presented with before, and we just got last week, I believe, the certified free cash from what you said. It seems to be twice as what's coming back to us is twice what was presented previously. So I'm not sure I quite understand where the discrepancies are.
Can I try to explain that, Julia?
Yeah, please.
I think what Kirk, let me know if this is what you're going for here. So when we originally heard from the school, they were waiting for their access and deficiency, which is the school's version of free cash, to come in from FY22. And they knew it was going to be a while, and that's one of the reasons we pushed out our meeting, right? Because we wanted to get that number down as low as possible in our operating stabilization reliance. They were projecting it was going to come in around 700K. It came in closer to 1.4 million, right? We're still waiting for the school to do something and see if they can reduce their number. When they had previously presented at the school committee seemed to be a little reluctant to pass that back to the towns. The administration seems to be very much in support of passing it back to the towns to reduce the assessments in some capacity. All of the towns, we did put a letter together and sent it out the first thing this morning to the superintendent, so he has it, requesting that they do just that, right? Apply the E&D, apply the additional Chapter 70 numbers to it to reduce those numbers. On Wednesday night, FinCom actually recommended disapproval. One of the reasons they stated for recommending disapproval was all the towns that got together and said, we're looking for 4% increase in our assessments. You know, that's the max we can pretty much handle. We're looking for that. Ours came in 4.19, others came in significantly higher. And they were stating that, you know, they really felt that they could do better on the number and that they should do better on their number. And because of that, they wanted to go forward with the disapproval on their side. As far, just in case anyone's watching this, I don't want anyone to get confused. The numbers presented in the box are the same. They're actually just $71 less than what they were on Tuesday. So if I understood you correct, Kirk, you were talking about the numbers as projected by the school, not the numbers as presented in this document, right? Okay.
Was that an affirmative response? Yeah.
$700,000 variance, and I mean that's a lot. And if we can reduce ours by anything, it's going to help our budget this year. You know, whatever we have left in you know, free cash or whatever.
So I think we're talking about two different items that we would need to move separately. So if you want to change the recommendation on the article based on the fact that we think that the E&D that has come in should get passed along to the towns, that's a separate motion, and we can certainly talk about that. For right now, we need to adjust the numbers that are in the budget. We are required to present the budget to the town with the numbers from the state.
I think you have a motion on the table, Kirk, for disapproval. So I think Julie is wondering if you want to possibly withdraw that motion and hold on to it for a minute and make a new motion to approve Article 14 to put on the warrant as written. And then you can come back to your second motion.
Just point of discussion. What are your thoughts, Heather? You've been right in the thick of this.
I mean, it's up to the board how they feel about the disapproval. I think it does have some potential weight behind it, right? So there's 3 towns left to vote for the school budget. Holden votes on Monday, which is going to be before the school committee meets, but we and Princeton meet after that. I think there's potential weight to having a warrant that says both the school committee and the select board disapprove the recommendation on the warrant, still a few weeks away, and gives the school committee potentially time to make an amendment and assessment to reduce it below that 4%, to be able to have more favor. It doesn't do them any favors for us to potentially disapprove a budget on June 5th. And then they're kind of stuck, right? They're gonna end up on a 1/12 at that point if they didn't do anything, because Princeton doesn't meet until the 20th, and that's way too close for their comfort to the July start date. So I think having a disapproval, that's a possible thing. It definitely brings up discussion. It also kind of gives a point, and maybe it'll offer some pressure to the school committee. I know the administration, as I mentioned, is in support of reducing the assessments, but perhaps the school committee will be in favor as well as a result.
Well, I'll continue my motion then to disapprove.
Can I say something?
Yep.
So I understand, what we're trying to achieve, but ultimately, if we don't approve the budget at town meeting, I know you're aware of this, but I'm just going to say it out loud anyway. If we don't approve the budget at town meeting and the other two towns pass it, which I have never known in my time, Princeton or Oldham, not pass it,
Right.
then we have to go back to, and if it fails at town meeting, we have to go back for another town meeting. So
What if we just voted the number at town meeting lower so that it equaled the 4%? And then at that point, the school committee has the baseline of what Paxton voted, and they can go lower than that. But if they go higher than that, then they're going to run into troubles themselves.
Well, again, I don't think they're going to change it on our whim. So I don't see a point in guessing a number. The number we've got is what we've got to present. We can ask the voters to vote on a lower number, but like I say, if the number comes in even $1 higher than what we voted on, we come back to town meeting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way around it.
And
so
we're still required to present the number that they're giving us. If there's a motion made on the floor for a different number, that can happen, but we are required to present what's here. So I'm just going to say again that we're backwards in what we're doing right now.
Yes.
First, it needs to go on the warrant as written. Then we can make a motion about whether we approve or disapprove it. As of right now, it is not even on the warrant with the changes that we need.
So I'll make a motion to put it on the warrant as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. Okay, now we can talk about approving or disapproving. Let's get a motion so that we can discuss.
I'll make a motion to disapprove for discussion.
Okay, is there a second for discussion?
Second for discussion.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to say first?
I mean, I don't. It's not a matter of whether we're in support of the schools or not. It's a matter of what we can. Every single department in this town has pinched as hard as they can to try to make this budget, and next year's is going to be even more difficult, and we all know that. My concern is that if we just move it along this year, next year is going to be even more painful. I guess that's my point of conversation.
And yeah, next year is going to be painful no matter what. I think it's not gonna, the 0.19 is potentially gonna hurt us now or hurt us next year, right? So my suggestion,
it hurts us now, and then next year they come back with a 6%, then we're 7.9. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, I hear you. My suggestion
That's a
would be,
recommendation at town meeting.
thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. The suggestion is to make the recommendation at town meeting. We can take it off right now so it doesn't say approval. We can,
Yes.
Instead it'll say the select board will make a recommendation at town meeting, which I think sends an equal message without putting us in a position where we have to come necessarily back for another town meeting. And it gives the school,
simply because we don't have all the information yet.
absolutely, and the school still, yep, and the schools, right. The school still has the opportunity to change it.
Yes. So Kirk, do you want to amend your motion?
Yeah, I'll amend it to, the select board will make a recommendation at town meeting. Based
Second.
upon,
Sorry.
I lost track. I can't see the screens, so I'm not sure which
Okay.
article now.
It's Article 14 now, Kirk.
Change. So I'll make a motion to the select board make its recommendation at town meeting.
Great. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. I think that's the right move. Okay. Is there anything else, Heather?
Nope, that's it for the warrant.
Excellent.
Just close it.
Yep. So is there a motion to close the warrant?
I'll make a motion to close the warrant.
Second.
All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. And if we vote to sign it now, Heather, can we each come up and sign it individually?
You can, but I need to get it to someone to print out. I didn't print out 4 versions.
Okay.
But yeah, that's fine. You're just voting to sign it. It doesn't matter if you sign it today, if you all sign it on Monday.
Okay. So is there a motion to sign the warrant?
Sign the warrant.
Can we get that one more time? I think I heard it, but I just want to make sure everybody else was able to hear it and it was recorded.
I make a motion to sign the warrant.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. Okay.
No, quick question. Julia,
Yep.
does this have to be signed by Monday?
The sooner the better, because they need to get it out to print.
Are you out of town, Kirk?
To leave Sunday night for a funeral in Long Island.
We'll find a way to get you to sign before then. I can always email you the warrant. Do you have a printer?
You sign.
Okay, well, if I email it to you, you print it out, sign it, can you drop it off at town hall and then Julie and Carol can sign it?
I think as long as this, sorry. I think as long as there's 2 signatures on it, Kirk sounds like he's going to be busy, so as long as the 2 signatures, that's okay. You still there, Kirk?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, I can give somebody the proxy, whatever, permission to sign my name. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, you can't stop a funeral, so.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. If me and Julia can get in, which we can, then
Mhm.
you don't have to worry about it, Kirk. Your name will still be on there, just without your signature. Won't be the first time we've done that. If you're okay with that. Is that okay, Kirk?
Yes, Carol, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Excellent.
You've got enough to worry about.
Yep. Yep. Sorry for your loss, Kirk.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So the only other thing that I have on here is public comment. We have
So
one.
you had discussed, I'm sorry, Julie, you also had
sorry.
discussed and vote on any year-end transfers, but there
Yeah.
are none additional, so we're good.
Thank you. All right, so we only have one member of the public here. Jeremy, did you have anything?
I do not.
Excellent. And I was just trying to pull up the bean thing for you in case anybody wanted more information about the bean sprouts, but
I haven't got none in my fridge.
I'm hearing a whole lot of need for that. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, Kirk?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. We are adjourned.